How is it going, Trailblazers? I hope you guys are all doing well. In this video we're going over all the new changes to the 4-star Lightning Hunt character Moze, who has received some pretty nice buffs after the recent version 3 beta update. First, let's go over Moze's skill. Fleetwinged Raid marks a designated single enemy target as the prey, and deals lightning damage equal to 150% of Moze's attack to it, and gains 9 points of charge. When there are no other characters on the field that are capable of combat, Moze cannot use his skill and dispels the enemy's prey state. The charges are basically part of Moze's talent, which when he consumes a certain amount of charges, he launches his powerful follow-up attack. He now gains 9 points of charges by just using his skill, which helps him launch his follow-up attacks way more consistently. Speaking of which, this skill also ties nicely into his talent, Cascading Featherblade. Old Moze will enter the departed state while a prey exists on the field. After allies attack the prey, Moze will additionally deal 1 instance of additional lightning damage, equal to 30% of his attack, and gains 1 charge. When Moze's charge reaches 7 points, consume all charges to launch 1 follow-up attack to the prey, dealing lightning damage equal to 200% of Moze's attack, and dispel the target's prey state. New Moze will enter the departed state while a prey exists on the field. After allies attack the prey, Moze will additionally deal 1 instance of additional lightning damage, equal to 30% of his attack, and consumes 1 charge. For each 3 points of charge consumed, Moze launches 1 follow-up attack to the prey, dealing lightning damage equal to 160% of Moze's attack. When charge reaches 0, dispels the target's prey state, and reset the charge consumption count. This attack does not consume Moze's charges. Basically, with the new talent, instead of gaining 1 charge with each activation of his talent and then consuming them when they reach 7 points to launch his follow-up attack, he instead now gains 9 charges with each use of his skill and consumes 1 charge with every activation of his talent. The points consumed to launch the follow-up attack have also been reduced from 7 charges consumed to now only 3 charges consumed, which means this is overall a pretty sizable buff to his follow-up attacks, as not only do you gain more charges compared to his pre-buffed state, but the minimum charges required to launch the follow-up attacks have also been significantly reduced. So now each use of his skill provides enough charges to launch at least 3 follow-up attacks in a row before the start of Moze's next turn, which would be pretty easy to do in a proper follow-up team, where units like Fei Xiao, Topaz, and Aventurine will be constantly triggering their follow-ups and easily consuming all 9 charges. Moze's ultimate, Dash and Gash Out, Old increases the damage dealt by this character by 50%, lasting for 2 turns, and deals lightning damage equal to 350% of Moze's attack to a single target enemy. New energy requirement reduced from 110 to 120, deals lightning damage equal to 250% of Moze's attack to an enemy target, and launches his talent's follow-up attack against this target. If the target is defeated before this follow-up attack is used, then activate the follow-up attack against a random single enemy. The ultimate has been changed from simply doing average single target lightning damage, while also having a high 120 energy cost, to now doing trading some of the damage with a lower energy cost and also auto triggering his follow-up attacks. This is a buff since getting his ultimate sooner and triggering his follow-up leads to overall higher damage per cycle, rather than doing slightly higher single target damage, but with a much higher energy cost. Moving on to Moze's technique, Baited Wings. After using his technique, Moze gains stealth for 20 seconds. While stealth is active, Moze cannot be detected by enemies, and increases the damage Moze deals by 30% when he enters combat by attacking enemies while in stealth mode, lasting for 1 turn. Aside from taking out the 50% action advance, this technique largely remains the same. Now let's go over the changes to Moze's traces. Trace 2. Dagger Hold. Old Moze's action is advanced forward by 30% when his departed status is dispelled. If Moze's current charge equals 4 or greater, then his action will instead be advanced forward by 60%. New. When Moze dispels his departed state, his action is advanced forward by 30%. At the start of each wave, Moze's action is advanced forward by 30%. This change slightly nerfs the initial advance forward after leaving Moze's departed state and makes the additional 30% advance forward independent of his charge count. Now it instead applies at the start of every wave. Trace 3, Vengewise, old. When an ally attacks an enemy marked as prey, increases the crit damage dealt by 20%. New, when this character deals damage with his ultimate, it is considered as having launched a follow-up attack. Increases follow-up attack damage taken by the enemy, marked as prey by 25%. This new trace not only increases Moze's ultimate damage, as it now is considered a follow-up attack, but also increases the follow-up attack damage when you mark an enemy as prey with his skill. Now finally let's go over Moze's Eidolons. E1 Oathkeeper, old. When this character deals damage with his ultimate, it is considered as having launched a follow-up attack. Increases follow-up attack damage taken by the enemy, marked as prey by 25%. New, after entering battle, Moze regenerates 20 points of energy. For every time the additional damage from his talent is triggered, Moze regenerates 2 points of energy. The old effect of the E1 has now been moved to Moze's Trace 3 and the new E1 instead just gives an additional bit of energy and damage. E2, Wrathbearer, old. After entering battle, Moze regenerates 20 points of energy. For every time the additional damage from his talent is triggered, Moze regenerates 3 points of energy. New, when an ally attacks an enemy marked as prey, increases the crit damage dealt by 40%. Moze's E2 effect is now been moved to his E1. E2 now instead gives 40% crit damage on a marked enemy. E4, Heat Prowler, old. The crit damage boost effect of the Vengewise additionally increases by 20%. New, when using ultimate, the damage dealt by Moze increases by 30% for 2.0 turns. E4 used to boost the damage of Moze's old Trace 3. Now it just gives a 30% damage boost for 2 turns after using your ultimate. E6, Faithbender, old. After using the ultimate to attack an enemy target, Moze immediately launches the follow-up attack from talent against this target. If the target is defeated before this follow-up attack is used, then activate the follow-up attack against a random single enemy. New, increases the damage multiplier of the talent's follow-up attack by 25%. E6 is a big buff, since it adds a separate multiplier to Moze's follow-up attack talent, which when combined with all of the other follow-up buffs, increases his overall damage quite significantly. Overall, I think Moze is a way better unit now, compared to his kit in beta version 2. While some of his attack multipliers have been slightly reduced, he makes up for that by gaining really powerful self-buffs to his follow-up attacks and also can launch his follow-ups far more consistently, due to him now gaining more charge stacks through his skill, the reduced charge requirements on his follow-ups and also his ultimate energy cost being largely reduced. For optimal performance in terms of teams, I would recommend pairing him with Fei Xiao as the main DPS, Moze as a sub-DPS, Topaz as a second sub-DPS, and Aventurine as the shield sustain. All 4 members of this team will work off each other and can trigger each other's follow-up attack talents. If you don't have Fei Xiao, Topaz, and Aventurine, you can also play him in a more free-to-play friendly follow-up team consisting of Dr. Ratio as the main DPS, Moze as the sub-DPS, any Nihility debuffing support, and any sustain of your choice. This team is worse compared to the former one with all the premium 5 stars, but it will perform just fine and let you clear most content. So these are all the changes to Moze's kit as of the current version of the beta. If you found this information helpful, please give this video a like and also subscribe to my channel, as I'll also be doing a deep dive on Lingsha's kit changes next. That's it for now, I'll be seeing you in the next video.